Hey, friend, welcome to the podcast, You Are Significant, the podcast where you will hear real stories from real people and we will get down into the truths of your own significance. You were created on purpose for a purpose with seeds of greatness inside of you. Now, let's get down to it. Welcome back to You Are Significant. I'm so glad that you are here today for this episode. And I've really been thinking a lot about the holidays and how the holidays are not always so merry and bright for everyone. For some of us, there's sadness in the holidays because of losing people that we love. We miss our mom, or we miss our spouse that passed away, or we even just miss how it used to be when our kids were little. And now they're all grown up, and sometimes kids move away and they don't always stay connected to us. They move off into their own life, and we're disconnected. And so there's a lot of reasons, and that's just a few. Sometimes the reason that we're not happy during the holidays are some things that are in our control that can change. That can, if we change those things, we will be happier, not just during the holidays, but in life. So, I want to talk about some of those things that are in our control today. And one of those things is our expectations. Expectations is, it's been said that if we have preconceived expectations, that's actually preconceived resentments or preconceived hurt. And so the Bible says in Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Have you ever gone into a room and you imagined everyone coming over and saying, "Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Darlene, I'm so glad you're here." And you get there and no one even really notices you arrived. And maybe you get a sideways stare from a person or two, and you're like, "Where's the host? Where's the person who invited me?" And maybe they were just, changing a baby's diaper or caught up talking to a guest in the backyard, but it didn't go how you thought it would go. It didn't meet your expectations. It didn't happen how you had envisioned it. And that can be very disappointing. But we can avoid disappointment and unmet expectations if we simply decide that however it goes, we're going to hold gratitude. We're going to feel gratitude in our heart that we were invited, that we have the health, that we have a working vehicle or a working means of transportation to get there, that maybe when we arrive, there's music playing, we can hear people having a good time, there's some delicious food to eat. Maybe you prepared a dish and you've brought it, and it's going to be a blessing. Whether someone eats it or not, you brought something and you intended to be a blessing in the room, and that matters. One of my friends over the weekend was talking about how all the little things that you do, all the little bits of conversation you have, a smile that you give, eye contact, what a premium there is on eye contact these days, right? But the eye contact that you made with someone that helps them to feel more significant and seen and loved, all of that adds up. It compounds. And as it compounds, then significance grows. Your influence is growing. Your gratitude is growing. The love in your heart is growing. Both the love that you're giving and the love that you are receiving. So don't discount that as you manage your expectations and you come to replace expectations with gratitude, and that whatever happens, A, it's not in your control, and B, you're going to have gratitude. You're going to find the joy in the moment. You're going to find what you're grateful for in the moment, and that is going to lead to you feeling more happiness in your life. I'm so excited for you to implement that, and would love to hear how you implement managing your expectations, releasing them, and how you experience more joy. I would love to hear your story. So please feel free to reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. My handle is in the show notes so you can find me easily. And also, my link tree has everything so you can find me there. So, the next thing that I wanted to share with you is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. So, God has got you. He has literally, He created the whole path of your life from beginning to end before you were born. He knew, He knows it all, He could see it all. You have choice. It's not predestined, but it is there's knowledge. There's pre-knowledge with God of your life, and He has got you. So you're not alone. You're not an accident. You are on purpose. So this includes in your relationships, in your family dynamics, and in every single year of the holidays. So give your behavior to God, give other people's behavior to God, give other people's expectations of you to God, because that can be an area also that can steal your joy, is when you aren't meeting other people's expectations and it becomes apparent. Um, I have several friends and I'm so thankful for that, but one of the challenges is their expectations of me. And I'm an Enneagram 7. Anybody else an Enneagram 7? If you haven't studied the Enneagrams, you can look them up on Instagram and it'll tell you more, or you can ask ChatGPT. But the Enneagrams is a very revealing way to type your personality so you can understand your own strengths and weaknesses better. And as an Enneagram 7, details and being on time and knowing where to be when is not my strength. I am a creator. I do live in the moment, and sometimes I don't realize I'm supposed to be somewhere else 10 minutes ago. Or like the other day, I came home from Athens and I was literally just sat down on my couch in Kimberly, and my friend called me and said, "Hey, what's your ETA?" And she's in Athens, about ready to go into the Women's Resource Center and present the diaper drive that we had worked on, mostly her, through the month of December. And I wasn't there. There was no way for me to get there. I was an hour and a half away. And I said, "Sister, I am in Kimberly. I am so sorry. I'm not going to be there." I wish I could blink and Scotty could beam me over, but I forgot. I forgot that that was on my calendar today. I had babysat my grandson, and I had been up late working for a big goal the night before, pushing for it, and gotten up early to go babysit him and still do some of my work that I brought with me during his naps. And it just went out of my head as a human, and I could not meet her expectations. Now, thankfully, she was so gracious with me, very kind, very patient. She went in, and the newspaper was there. That we were featured in the Women's Resource Center magazine, and I missed it. I missed being there with her to participate and represent our group, but she did a beautiful job. And so she could have been mad at me. I wanted to apologize for 3 days in a row, but I knew I had apologized. And I also knew and trusted this friend that when I apologized, it was done, and she forgave me. And that's how we have to look at ourselves. We have to be willing to forgive ourselves when we don't meet other people's expectations. I think that's the hardest part for me is I wish I was perfect, and I really hate making a mistake. I did it this summer as well. I was supposed to be in a very special presentation to a friend who worked super hard on a weight loss goal and became the winner overall in our state and our top state club. And I missed her speech, and I still regret it, and I'll always regret I wasn't in the room. But I was in a new chapter, and it was my responsibility to know what time everything was, and I failed. I just failed. I failed to know exactly when I was supposed to be there and realize I was missing it. And I can't change that. And I regret it so much because she's absolutely precious to me and I wanted to be there. So it is very, very hard when other people have expectations and I don't meet those. Sometimes they're legitimate expectations and I want to meet them and I don't for one reason or another. Human error a lot of times on my in my case, but I appreciate so much forgiveness and forgiving friends, but I also have to forgive myself. And what if they don't forgive you? What if you're not forgiven of something and you can't change it? You can still choose to forgive yourself, even if they won't. That forgiveness is granted by God. God is the one who really and truly forgives. And if you have said, I am so sorry, I messed up, then God will forgive you. And sometimes there is human consequences that we can't control, and yet we still need to forgive ourselves. We still need to say, you know what, I messed up and I've made it right with God, and that is not my identity. My identity is not that mistake I made. I'm not going to start labeling myself or calling myself a certain thing because I made that mistake. I'm going to forgive myself and still continue to recognize myself as a daughter or son of God, and that He loves me. His Son died for me on the cross to forgive me of my sins. The price has been paid, and nothing changes that. Whatever other humans do, nothing changes that I am forgiven by God. And so that helps me to feel happier. When I release myself from unmet expectations, I'm lighter, I'm more peaceful, I'm happier. Are you? Do you feel lighter? As you practice this, I believe you will. I believe you will feel happier. John 5:14 says, if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. We can pray to God and ask for Him to take our cares from us. We can cast all our care on Him because He cares for us. Give control to God. This is the third thing. Release control and let Jesus take the wheel. Literally. So I want to encourage you, friend, that in Deuteronomy 30:19, we are reminded, I have set before you life and death. Now choose life. God will take control. Jesus has the will. I don't have to do it all. I don't have to do it all by myself and weary myself to death. Matthew 11:28 through 30 says, come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. God doesn't want us to be weighed down trying to control everything, which we can't do anyway. And He doesn't even try to control everything. Humans have free will. We are not robots. So if God even releases control to let that person think their thoughts, take actions, do their thing, He doesn't force, then why should I be doing that? Why should I be caught up in trying to control what my daughter does, or my son does, or my husband does, or my friend does, or this group over here does, or these coworkers do. No. Release control, cast all your care on Him. He cares for you. And guess how you're going to feel? Think about it. Imagine if you release control, take a big, big breath in, hold it at the top, and release. As you release that control, how do you feel? More joy? You're going to sleep better. You're going to breathe easier. Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Now you can go for a walk. You can rest. You can do a puzzle, any kind of puzzle, Sudoku, search a word, crossword, or even a jigsaw puzzle. And Isaiah 26:3 promises, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you." And last of all, I want you to pray more. When you pray and you give it to God in prayer, remember you only need to pray one time. Trust God. You prayed it, you gave it, He has it, and it is finished. You can trust Him. You don't need to worry. Worry adds nothing, and prayer adds peace. Matthew 6:27, can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to your life? No. So pray about it. Pause, breathe, pray, and then let it go. God didn't ask you to rehearse worst case scenarios. He asked you to trust Him. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the evidence of what we can't see." Faith says, God's got this. I don't have to fix everything. I can rest. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him." So, in closing out this episode today, I hope that you have a wonderful holiday. Lots of us are celebrating in different ways. We all have different traditions, beliefs, customs, but it is a holiday where across the world people are taking time to spend time with family, make some memories, rest, laugh, really feel the joy, taking time to be grateful for the year. And that's going to be another episode. But I just want you to have a beautiful holiday and experience the happiness that God intended you to feel. And if you have loved this episode and the scriptures that we talked about together and would like a copy, then check out the podcast episode show notes, and I will have a PDF of the scriptures that we shared and a few more. And that is my gift to you to increase your happiness. Live happy, my friend. Thank you for tuning in to You Are Significant. I hope this episode inspired you to embrace your own God-given purpose. If this episode inspired you and blessed you, would you please share it out with a friend who needs to be reminded of their own significance? And remember to hit subscribe. Until next time, remember to walk in faith, find the joy, and stand in your significance.